Welcome as you're joining the Ready, Set, Elon webinar. We are letting folks in. So as participants are joining us, we'll be kicking it off in just a moment. We greatly appreciate you spending some time on a Thursday evening or afternoon, depending on where you are, with us. We'll give it another 30 seconds or so folks can jump on and catch the very beginning. Thank you again for spending time with us. Thank you, class of 2028 families, for joining us for Ready, Set, Elon. My name is Emily Lyons. I am part of the Office of Parent Engagement here at Elon. We are recording this session, so at the end, we will be able to share it on our YouTube page. So if you would like to go back and review any topics that we discussed or anything like that, we welcome you to do that. So again, welcome to Ready, Set, Elon. The chat is open for you to share questions. We have pre-submitted questions that those registered had shared over the past few days. And so we have those to address. We will do our best to answer as many questions as we can during this time this evening. If we don't get to your question, at the very end, I'm going to share the email addresses for Office of Parent Engagement, Residence Life, and New Student Programs. So I would love for my coworker, Will Robertson, to introduce himself, and we'll get everything started.
Thanks, Emily. Hey, everybody. I'm Will Robertson. I'm the Associate Director of Parent Engagement here at Elon. Been in this role just over 4 years, so really excited to welcome the class of 2028, and I'll be the one in the chat hopefully answering your questions as best as I can. And we're excited to have student perspective as well as orientation leader Sarah with us. So Sarah, take it away.
Hey y'all, my name is Sarah Rothacker. I am a student coordinator for New Student Programs, overseeing New Student Orientation. This is my 3rd year with the program, so I was an orientation leader, and then I was a team lead, and now I'm a coordinator. I am a upcoming senior, and my majors are dance, performance, choreography, and communication design, and I'm super happy to be here.
Super. Thanks, Sarah, for being here. And we are also joined by Amy and Sean McGuire, who are current Elon parents, and I'll let them introduce themselves. Amy?
Great. Thank you so much. To say we're the proud parents really underestimates everything that Elon means to us. Molly, our senior, is rising and she'll graduate next spring. And Sean and I have had the honor of just being a part of this community. So glad to be with you all tonight. There are so many wonderful things that the next 3 minutes of our introduction doesn't begin to describe how much we have adored being a part of this community. The faculty is they're just incredible. The friendships that Molly has made and the friendships that we have made throughout this time have really been incredible. And it's going to be very sad to see this year closing, but it is a part of a family that you will never leave. And we're just glad to be here and be part of any questions that you may have. And thank you for this time.
And my name is Sean McGuire, and I think just a couple of advice tidbits that I'll throw out to start. There's going to be a lot of things thrown at you this evening, and there's going to be lots of questions about where to park and really important stuff like that. But I wanted to just take it to a little higher level and just kind of give you my perspective on how Molly transitioned to Elon and the support systems that exist at Elon. First of all, when Emily and Will and Sarah say that that there is support and resources available. They mean it. Their phones ring and they answer them, and it doesn't matter whether it's academic or it's personal. Please reach out. Elon, we've done it. Amy and I have done it numerous times for various reasons, and we get answers to our questions. So please know that they are responsive, and we've experienced that firsthand. It's also incumbent, I think, upon us as parents to maintain that open line of communication with our students, with our children. I think if it's your first child going off to college, there's some emotions there that I think are significant and should be addressed with as parents and with the children themselves. They should definitely feel supported and understood during this journey. It's really, really difficult to leave home and do this journey on no matter what school you go to. So keep that line of communication open with your children as well too. But it also needs to be encouraging. This is a brand new chapter in your child's life. It's potentially a brand new chapter in your life as a parent as well too. So enjoy it. That's probably my biggest takeaway is really enjoy the whole process, because it will be hectic at drop-off day. You won't know exactly where to go. The team and Sarah will talk about how it all happens, but everyone just descends upon you. Kind of soak it in and enjoy it. So I'll stop there, Emily, and kind of turn it back to you all. And we'll at least myself will hang on for any other parent perspectives or questions that we may have.
Super. Thank you, Sean and Amy. I introduced myself early, but I'm Emily Lyons. I work here in the Office of Parent Engagement along with Will. And if you don't know, the Office of Parent Engagement is here for you, current Elon families, to be a resource. So please know at any time during your Elon journey, if you have a question and you're not sure who to connect with on campus, feel free to reach out to us. I'll share our email at the end of this, and we will definitely help you connect to the right person, get the answers for you. So definitely we are a resource in communication for you. So Sarah, as Sean was mentioning, Move-In is happening next weekend, and the Office of New Student Programs leads Move-In and orientation. Can you give kind of an overview, like if my time for Move-In is 9:30, what does that mean? Where do I go? What does Move-In even look like at Elon?
Yeah, of course. I will say it is so organized that really all you have to do is follow the signs. Essentially, your move-in time should be in your student's Acorn account. That's where all of the information you'll need will be. There may be directions on printing things out. Just make sure you have all of your move-in time, all of the materials and stuff that you need, and know where your student's moving into. But you will be going to the SHAR Center for a centralized check-in. It's been this way for a few years now, and it's been proven to be really, really successful, really easy. You'll essentially get a hang tag at the centralized check-in, along with other information, different packets with Phoenix cards and keys to your residence halls, things like that. So anything that you'll need. And then there will be Elon Police, Town of Elon Police, Campus Police, other police officers, as well as Elon's facilities management and things like that. And they will be guiding you, also signs. There's a lot of closed roads so that you can easily get to your dorm. With that, you cannot get to your move-in location without your hang tag, so make sure you go through the centralized check-in first. But yeah, then you'll be directed to your student's neighborhood and then an offloading zone. You'll have one person stay with the car at all times, and then there will be a team of orientation leaders, RAs, a lot of student athletes come and help, different organizations on campus. A big collection of people will come and help unload your vehicle. Different neighborhoods have different things. They all have either a laundry cart or a motorized vehicle that can help move things around. and the students' items will go in there. With that, I will recommend make sure you label all of your items with your student's name and their building and room number. Very helpful, keeping things organized, because your student will stay with their things while a family member will move the car. If your student's moving in themselves, it's also super easy. An OL is an orientation leader, sorry. An OL will stay with your student's things and move it to their room while the student moves the car. We have a really, really strategic process. It doesn't take more than like 30 minutes, I'd say, from being at Shar Center to getting all of your things up to your residence hall. Obviously, unloading or like moving things in, setting it up could take as long as you need. But we will have orientation meetings that day at 4:30. So if you have a 9 a.m., 9:30 move-in time, you've got a pretty good amount of time in the day. But you should probably be set by like, I'd say 10 if your move-in time's 9:30, which is really nice. Again, like I said, pretty quick, tons of helping hands, a lot of people ready. And then in terms of if you have multiple vehicles or if you're bringing a U-Haul, different things like that, they will need a hang tag as well. That will get you to the offload location. So when you're at the Shar Center, letting people know there. And I would say try to limit to 1 to 2 vehicles, just for parking. After you have unloaded your vehicles or U-Hauls or anything like that, facilities will direct the cars to a long-term parking spot, just keeping traffic flowing. And so there's not 1.5 million spots, but we try our best to accommodate for everybody. So just making sure that it's like 1 to 2 vehicles is the best. But yeah, that's pretty much move in. It's a great day. Normally it's hot, but we've got a lot of volunteers. There's about 200 volunteers, faculty and staff alone at Shar Center. So there's a method to the madness and there's a process and it's been tested and it works great. But yeah,
Sarah, so if I have a 10 o'clock move-in time, I should be at Shar Center at what time?
10 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, so I
So
don't
you're-
need to arrive 30 minutes ahead of time. I just need to be at Shar Center at 10,
Yep.
and then I will follow the process there.
Yeah. So
From
Shar
right.
Center is your first spot, your number 1 location. And it's pretty easy to get to. So yeah.
Super, super. So we go to Shar Center, we get our packet of information, we get our hang tags for our vehicles, and we follow the map on our hang tag to get to the neighborhood. And all neighborhoods have assistance, right? All the different neighborhoods will have tons of people helping to unload everything. And
Yeah.
then whoever's driving the car will go and park it somewhere else. And by that time, everything should be in the room and you can start unpacking and arranging and then lofting beds. Is that a
Yeah.
thing?
So facilities management is awesome, and there will be a tent in each neighborhood. Hard to miss. It'll probably be right in the center, convenient location. They have some materials to help lofting beds. For me personally, I also purchased like risers for my dorm bed, but the beds loft pretty high. So yeah, very helpful. They're willing to help for the
And they
whole
have
day.
yeah. And so there's different tents at the different neighborhoods where if you need the items to loft the beds, Elon staff is there to help you with the materials, the tools, everything that is possibly needed, right?
Yep, they should have everything you need. Um, yeah, the only thing is maybe bring a rubber mallet if you have one, that you can help, because they have them, but you'd have to share. There might be multiple people, but any materials that are needed, you don't need to purchase. They'll have it.
Sure. And I was talking to one of my colleagues who's a Elon alum, and she mentioned how she set her room up one way, and by the time the fall semester ended, they had rearranged it like 6 times anyway. So
Yeah, I believe it.
Great, great. So we come in at 10, and we have so many open spaces at Shar that if you're there on time, you're going to go through the process pretty quickly, get to your neighborhood, unload items, then come back to your room. Different people have different move-in times. So I know orientation for students start Friday evening at 4:30.
Yes. So the
Yeah.
latest move-in times are around 1 o'clock. That gives people time if you want to run to the local Target, run to pick up any last things that you might have forgotten, and then all of the students will meet their orientation leaders at 4:30.
And then families can choose to stay and finish putting away items, do a Target, Walmart run, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. Friday, the only things that parents have while the students are with their orientation leaders is there is a family and parent welcome session. There are two on Friday. The first one is at 1:30, and that's for people that are moving in earlier in the day, invited to attend that. It's not for students, it's just for families. And then there's a 4:30 also that day for the later move-in times. So at the same time, the students will go to meet their orientation leader. There's a welcome session. Those are both in alumni gym, but you can find more information about that on the orientation schedule, which is on the website. And I believe Emily might mention a little more about the website.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Sarah. Perfect. So if you haven't learned the secret of Elon University's website, let me tell you. So kind of pretend that you go to elonuniversity.com and you can use that search bar just like though you would Google, right? So you want to go look up the orientation schedule, go to Elon's main website, and in the right-hand corner is a search bar, type in orientation schedule, you'll find it. You want to know about micro fridges, you can find that information. You want to know about fall break, academic calendar, whatever the topic is, you literally can use that as Google. When I first started at Elon, that was a tip that was given to me, and it is quite a resource. So I highly suggest trying it out. So definitely look up the orientation schedule for more details than what we might go into this evening. So one question that we had earlier was about shipping items to campus. And so if your student has their campus box by now, and you can start shipping items to mail services. And that way if there's big items, small items, Amazon packages, whatever you would like to have shipped, you can have it shipped there. After you've gotten to your residence hall, you can go over to mail services, which is in the Mosley Student Center, and get your items there. They are well equipped, having storage spaces, knowing that people are going to be sending lots of items. So and the dining halls will be open on Friday. So students will be using the dining halls starting Friday, and families are welcome to as well. So Sean and Amy, do you remember Molly's move-in a couple years ago?
Absolutely. To say that everyone just descends upon you, you don't have to do anything. It is overwhelming when you see this group of her peers, all of these volunteers that are sophomores, juniors, some seniors that just come out. There's athletes, there's non-athletes, and they just help you do everything. And you don't have to sweat at all.
Yeah, my job was to stay with the car, as Sarah said. Someone needs to stay with the car, and Amy and Molly went to the room following the train of stuff that came out of our car that I didn't lay a hand on at all, and I drove to the parking lot and joined them at her dorm room. And the fun began there. So it was really easy, really fun, and it was warm that day, Sarah. I do remember it was warm the day we dropped off Molly, but it was a lot of fun, and it's a great memory.
There's music, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, yes. One of the highlights during move-in day is having the band come across campus. So I hope you get to see that. So.
Yeah.
So orientation activities, Sarah, start, and there's parent information sessions Friday, and then Saturday morning we have new student convocation. Do you remember your new student convocation?
I do, yes. And the new student convocation is always really, really special. It's the first time you get to see the faculty. It's the first time you get to hear the president speak, other leaders speak. Student body president was always a notable one for me. And also get our acorns. I actually received my acorn from one of my mentors in my department, which is really special. And I still have it today. So ready for my sapling, but acorn to sapling, and it's very a very warm tradition to Elon and my heart, and I love it, and everyone really, really appreciates it. So
Yeah, if you don't know, when Sarah graduates in May, she'll be giving her oak sapling. So new student convocation happens on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Our office of parent engagement will actually be having a coffee for families near at the basketball courts at HBB, which is a residence hall near the historic district. You can come have coffee, some pastries, some fruit, and then go sit down under the oaks, which is a special area for Elon. And we have new student convocation there. And when the students proceed out, they get an acorn. And like I mentioned, when you graduate, you get an oak sapling. So you go from an acorn to an oak. So, and then after new student convocation, families have the chance to meet their students' Elon 1010 advisor. And because students will then go with their orientation groups. Is that correct, Sarah?
yeah, they'll go directly to their orientation groups. There's not really a huge chance to like see your student, but they're gonna go to their orientation groups while y'all go to their advisors. That's at 10:30. And then yeah, you can continue.
Yes. So then you'll have a chance. So Elon 1010 advisor is your student's first advisor. So it's a great opportunity to connect a name with a face. So while your students interacting with them, they'll have Elon 1010 sessions throughout the fall. And so as they're going through those sessions and they are talking about this person or this person, you'll have an idea who they're speaking about. And they'll be the ones who will help guiding them through the advising session for the for J term and spring semester. So it's a great opportunity. And then there'll be an information fair as well for families that Saturday. And then the send-off picnic will occur. I believe families need wristbands for the picnic. Online sales for the wristbands are currently closed. But if you need a wristband, you can buy it Friday and Saturday before the picnic.
Yeah, so the wristbands, the students will automatically, new students all will automatically get a wristband. Those are free, those do not have to be purchased. But for family members, those are in orientation headquarters, which is located in the Mosley Center, and there's a kitchen in Mosley, kind of more towards the lakeside area. It's hard to miss. There'll be a lot of people there, so you can purchase them there. And I'd also love to just add real quick, for families of transfer students that might not be taking Elon 1010, because that's only for the new student, like first year students. There is a session as well for transfer orientation families at 10:30 in La Rose Theater, which is in the KOBC, the Corey Business Center. And so that's also for those parents.
And that information can also be found on new student programs. So if you go to Elon's website, new student programs in the search bar, you'll be able to find incoming students, transfer students, all the schedules, correct?
Yeah, that's all in there, as well as optional added sessions. There's a ton of different things that are offered, and it'll say on there whether it's open for students or for families. So definitely take a look and see, because there's some other drop-in things as well.
Super, super. So in the packet of items that the students receive at SHAR is their Phoenix card. Is that correct?
Yes, they will get their
So-
Phoenix card.
Because that's your key to your room.
Yes.
And the buildings and buildings on campus to swipe for your meal plans. And then you can also, parents can add Phoenix Cash, or they can put cash on that. Is that right?
Yes. you're gonna have a key for your actual room, but your building will all do Phoenix Card tap access. And you can, like Emily had mentioned, you can use it to load Phoenix Cash, your meal plan, food dollars are on there, meal dollars, which if you're totally unsure what those are, your orientation leader will cover it with the new students. So you can get information that way, but it's also on the Phoenix Card website. And also, I found that I tap my Phoenix Card for different events I attend. Sometimes I know bingo is an event that I frequently attend, put on by Elon Student Union Board. And if you tap in, sometimes they'll give you like different prizes and stuff for how many times you've tapped in. So different things like that. Their Phoenix Card will always be with them. I keep mine with me all the time. I also recommend on the back of like a phone, getting a phone wallet for your student. That way you can just keep your Phoenix Card on the back of your phone. They're always going to have their phone on them. So it's easy to tap it and you normally don't lose it that way. But yeah,
And for
that
the
was
and for
something that
and clarify for me, you mean like the little slot that you slide your card in the back? Okay, on the
yes.
back. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they also have them at some events. So if you're not buying one for your student right now, there might be an Elon one somewhere, possibly the org fair, things like that, which we can also talk about in the further along. But I recommend that because that way they'll have it with them. But they normally don't lose it. You kind of need it everywhere, so it's one of those things you got to keep with you.
Yes, yes, yes. Sean and Amy, do you have any tips from move-in that you would like to share? Did you attend the summer send-off picnic? Do you remember the convocation or anything?
Yeah, I think I saw a question that came by there real quick. Will may have seen it, asking what send off or what leaving your child and student there at Elon is like. And I'll be completely honest with you. It is hard. Like it is a difficult thing to do. If it's your first child, it probably is probably overwhelming. You probably don't want to think about it. You went through this long, arduous process to find the right college, university for your child to go to. They were accepted, and you had to choose between multiple universities probably for your student to attend. That's stressful. Like that's stress in and of itself. And now you actually have to drop them off and it is not easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not easy. However, I can tell you, and Amy and I have another daughter that we also did drop off, fortunately for as well too. And every child is different, certainly, but enjoy the whole process. I may have said that earlier as well too. But ultimately, that drop off is really special, and you have to trust that your child is in good hands, which they are at Elon. And I said this at our earlier meeting in the afternoon. Amy and I are believers that that our children, the right college finds your child. They are in the right place, and you have to believe that. You really do. But it is a memory. It's a great memory, and I hope you are able to really embrace it and enjoy it.
I would only add that the convocation and the acorn is a beautiful ceremony. So if you can stick around, it is kind of indescribable. It's really a great chance, and your child will remember it, as Molly already has.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, let's see. So a couple questions about once you're here at Elon and you've started classes, and how do you get involved? And Sarah, you had mentioned the organization fair that happens. I believe it happens maybe the second week of class or so, somewhere around there. There's information that's sent out. And I'm sure you've been a part of this for the past few years. There's organizations all over the quad, right? There's tables of everything from the outdoors to yoga to music groups to Elon Car Club and everything that I'm forgetting in between. So did you find attending the organization fair helpful?
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, I believe it's on August 29th. I know it's a Thursday. So around then. So yeah, it's like the second week-ish. And it was so helpful. I was able to go with my roommate, and we didn't always join the same things, and that was okay because we were branching out and meeting new people. But I found myself signing up for quite a few things, and testing them out, and didn't stick with everything, of course. But it was a really good opportunity to meet people by attending some like just information sessions. A lot of the organizations have information sessions the first like week or so, and they're open for everybody. Everyone would love new members. Everyone is so accepting and inviting to new people. And I just think it's great to go, even if you're more on the reserved side and don't really want to put yourself out there. Like, I would recommend every student go, even just because you never know what's out there. Something that you found you really loved in high school, there's probably something for it. So yeah, I really loved it, and I found organizations that I'm really happy to be a part of through that fair. And there is so many people there, and it's awesome. Like, there's so many different tents. Like Emily had said, it's all around Young Commons, filled. All the bricks are full.
Yeah, you gave some great advice, because I'm always amazed. I've been at Elon for 5 years, and I'm constantly learning of organizations, either new ones or I just had never stumbled across them. And I'm kind of envious, because I'm like, that's really cool. I would love to learn more about this or that or whatever. So I love your advice about just going out and seeing what is available, and even just trying to visit one or two, and you never know what you might enjoy. That's great advice. So Sean and Amy, have you heard Molly share anything from the organizations that she's joined?
One thing I was amazed by when we got there was seeing everything that was available. So we were kind of worried about that first weekend and what is she going to do? And then we saw they were whitewater rafting. The next weekend, they were going to the lake. The next weekend, people were doing all this other. So we were so amazed and impressed at everything that was offered. They will be very, very busy. When they don't return your calls or your text, you'll think something's wrong. But I think it's because they're so busy that first. And their academic advisors play such a big role. Their RAs, they are surrounded by this amazing culture that Elon just offers. It is fascinating. They may not, who they meet those first 2 weeks may not be who they're with in 2 months, but what you will find is they all have such an important part of those first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I wanted to stay another week just to hang out and do some of those things. Molly wouldn't have been very happy with that, but you're right. I mean, it's I don't know, and maybe Sarah, there's even a process for, even if there isn't a club that you want to do, that you can start your own club and do that as well too, which I think is a really
Yeah.
cool idea.
Yeah, 100%. I know an organization that one of my friends brought to campus, actually, and it's a network of other chapters and different campuses and stuff. And so it's awesome. I'd also love to add that the academic advisors, the Elon 1010 professors, they push the students to go as well to the org fair. There's also a career fair later in the semester that sometimes those events are required for students. And so just so that y'all feel secure, like, people are pushing your students to find people. It's very, very normal for all these students to go to these things. So it's not like a weird thing to go. Like, everyone goes. Even, I mean, maybe not seniors, but like I went last year, so as a junior. So yeah.
You said something I wanted to remind too, which is really amazing, is the jobs fair, the careers fair. If your child wants to have a campus job, there are those opportunities. If they only want to work 1 day a month or be a yoga instructor, or there's countless opportunities. And I would just say you will be surprised by everything that's there. I don't believe we've talked about it, but there's also the coffees. And Sarah, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but it was one of Molly's favorite. It is still one of Molly's favorite. And for those parents who don't know or haven't heard yet, it is a great opportunity. Sarah, you describe it from your perspective.
Yeah, college coffee happens every single Tuesday. Typically rain or shine. Sometimes it moves from the Phi Beta Phi Commons, I believe is where it
Phi
is.
Beta Kappa, yeah,
Phi
yeah.
Beta Kappa, sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. The Phi Beta Kappa in Commons, which is by academic pavilions. And that's where it is during the sunny days. Sometimes it's moved into McKinnon or other locations, but it is every single morning during a time when there are no classes, which is a great opportunity because students can then go interact with faculty members and other staff people. I personally have really enjoyed going. I've been able to interact with different people who have been able to connect me with people that I can network with and things like that. But it's also like free coffee and free pastries, and the food is always really, really good, and they're always improving. It's done through Elon Dining, and they are always taking feedback and stuff, which I also think is amazing about Elon Dining. The chocolate scones are a personal favorite of my bosses, so those are always really good. But yeah, it's every Tuesday. I believe it's 9:40. So there's no classes during that time. So everyone is really encouraged to go. And one of Elon's traditions, which is really awesome.
Yeah, college coffee is a great tradition. And it is a time that the whole campus pauses and connects, so we can interact with everybody. Yeah, that's a great point. A couple of questions that we had that's previously submitted was about transportation and getting around. So we have Elon Express, which are buses that students have access to, can get them from different parts of campus as needed. And there's a couple of different routes that also go into retail spaces into Burlington. So if your student doesn't have a vehicle and needs to go to Target, Elon Express will do that. You can go to Elon's website, put in Elon Express, and you can see the routes and the schedule of how to navigate that. So one question we've had often is, what about transportation like to and from airports, right? So the McGuires are from out of state, so they had to learn how to navigate. Molly had to figure out how to get home and everything. So many of our students are from out of state. So we have shuttles that students can sign up for that go to the various airports. We put this information from the Office of Parent Engagement in newsletters that we do send out to families. We want to make sure that we have your current email. That's the best way for us to send out communication to you. So if you haven't gone to our website, Office of Parent Engagement, we have a new family information form that you can fill out and make sure that we have a current email for someone in the household, so you are getting our newsletters and our emails from campus. So we send all information that that parents need to know from our office. So please make sure we have your current email as that. We also have a Facebook page, Elon Parents. It is a Facebook page, not a Facebook group. So we run the Facebook page as a university sponsored thing. So we post the things like the organization fair, when the airport shuttles need to be signed up for, pictures from college coffee and different things like that. So please make sure we have your information and follow us on Facebook as well. So another thing that we got several questions about was, what happens when my student starts feeling bad or like getting sick and not feeling healthy? So we have the Ellington Center that's here on campus, and you can go for in-person visits, but you can also use Timely Care, which is a system that we offer through Elon that you can schedule virtual appointments. And Sarah, I believe you've used that in the past when you didn't feel well enough to want to leave your space. You were able to do a virtual appointment.
Yeah, it's really, really easy. They're available 24/7, which is awesome. And they also have a great counseling system through that too. So that's another resource for students. You just have to make an account. You can make it through the Elon email. It's very, very simple, and you can either do a phone call or a video call, which I think is super helpful. It's a resource that's been in use for a few years now, and I've heard a lot of great feedback, and I believe so is like higher ups in Elon. So I recommend at least having that account available. But with feeling sick, I would also say try to remember to bring a thermometer. That was something I didn't think about bringing and had to go purchase one. But it's very helpful, I feel like.
Yeah, good advice. And I do think sometimes it's helpful to kind of maybe have a conversation of, what to do. I still have 3 teens at home, but we're kind of talking through because I'm not always there with them. And so I'm like, hey, if you're not feeling well, if you have a headache, drink some water. That's always my first answer. But again, like, what's happening? Like, let's think through, like, what should you be doing? Should you be going to class? And it's kind of remind your student that they are their connection to their professor, right? They're here on campus. They're the ones going to class. And so if they have a concern where they're not feeling well, they need to just message their professor. So I want to share. So Elon uses Moodle. So professors will connect with students a few days before class, probably within a week or so. So if they don't have anything on Moodle for their classes yet, don't stress about that. Classes don't start for till the Tuesday after move-in, so there's still time. Professors are still kind of getting back into the swing of things next week. Is really when they start coming back to campus and getting back to their schedules. So Moodle is where they will put their syllabus, their expectations of their students, and everything like that, their grades, their assignments. They'll see all this through Moodle. So the professors will share, what their expectations are for if you're not feeling well and how to contact them and their office hours. And I've found most professors are great about, you don't feel well, let me know, what's going on. Has that been your experience, Sarah?
Yeah, for sure. You just have to be open. I would say new students should always just get used to emailing your professor, being open with them. They are willing to work with you if you communicate your needs and communicate to them. Across the board about anything, really. Professors are very, very here and very supportive for the students. And they want the students to succeed, which is really, in my experience, amazing with Elon. They want your students to do well. And so if you communicate to them openly, hey, I'm really not feeling well. I will get the work you need done, but I cannot be in class today. Like, they will be receptive. Another thing with Moodle with professors is make sure your students know some professors won't post their Moodle page until the first day of class, just as like they don't want to overwhelm the student or things like that. They'd rather go through the syllabus there on their own time first. I've noticed that. And I'd be like, oh no, I hope I'm still enrolled for this class. I don't see it on Moodle, but they are. I'm always still enrolled. It's just that some professors like to do it that way. So if your student doesn't see anything even the day before or the day of their first day of that class, tell them not to worry. That's normal, and they will realize that. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is very true. I was just glancing through some of the questions real quick. Phoenix card, like we mentioned earlier, you can add Phoenix Cash to it, and used at different places for concessions. Some local restaurants take it. If you go to Elon's website, type in Phoenix card, it will walk you through the process of how to add funds to it, and whatnot. So there was a question, and I'm an MBA student here at Elon, so I have evening classes. My classes get out at 9, and I was noticing there's a class, somebody was asking about late night classes. And I know when I get out at 9 p.m., there's plenty of that. It's almost like a whole nother part of campus opens up. And I'm ready to go to bed, and there's students ready to do activities. So it's not uncommon, would you say, Sarah, for there to be a lot of people walking around 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, when you're
100%.
getting from place to place, if you have to go to the library late or anything like that.
Yeah, 100%. And something that I think is also awesome is Elon's Student Union Board sub does late night events on Thursday, Friday, and I believe Saturday as well, which they will get a taste of during orientation. There's a huge late night event. I believe it's on Friday or Saturday night. And that's a taste of like everything that they could bring. They've had glow in the dark putt putt. They've had silent disco, things like that, which is always so fun. And it's a great, they're typically open, I believe, until at least like midnight on those nights, which is a great opportunity for students to get to know new people and also have like some structured like social school event that they can go to and be like, hey, I'm going to bring a bunch of my friends and we're going to go to late night Elon and we're going to go meet new people. And I know my first year especially, I went almost every single weekend as much as I possibly could because it's actually really fun. It's so I know some people might be like, "Oh, I don't want to go to late night Elon," but like it's actually really really fun. They always have really great events and a lot of time give out like free things. I've gotten free Elon cups. I've gotten an Elon bucket hat. Like keeping an eye out for all of those events, especially like the evening ones, are just great because if you're done your homework already and you don't want to just sit around, like it's a perfect thing to go to and bring new people to, and you're always going to meet people there. I always have met like random people that I probably wouldn't have talked to otherwise that just happened to be there, and I'm like, hey, I'm Sarah, what's up? And that's very common at Elon, I feel like, especially just connecting with people. I think that's one of the things that's great about it. But yeah, even just walking around late night, there's always people around. Elon's never, I'd say, not busy, except for maybe the summer. But other than that, there's always people around. So I'd
Yeah,
also say it's very safe, especially like in the evening times. Like I've never felt unsafe, and there's a lot of different measures put into place that make me feel safe. Some things that we'll talk with the students about during orientation, different apps that we have, the Rave Guardian app, things like that. But there's also a blue light system, which is always helpful. But yeah.
super. You had mentioned this earlier, but late night bingo, that's probably one of the
Yes.
most popular.
Mhm.
I strongly suggest you encourage all your students to attend bingo. It is quite an event. The prizes are amazing. I've heard it's tons and tons of fun. So
Yes.
talking about the glow in the dark and the sub and whatnot, I know for family weekend, and then some families had questions about visiting campus and whatnot. The Saturday night of family weekend. So family weekend will be September 27th through 29th. So starting that Friday. If you're able to come back to campus for family weekend, we would love to have you. And we have on that Saturday night, there'll be the Commons, Young Commons will be full of glow in the dark activities, which is lots of fun after rockapella. But we'll also have fall convocation with Arthur Brooks. Amy is a great fan. She's followed him for a while. So what do you remember some of your favorite things about family weekend, Amy or Sean?
Oh, I was just going to say, if you have not, first, overall, the group of speakers that Elon brings in is absolutely unmatched, not just for us during Parents Weekend, but please watch it. Emily mentioned the emails earlier. There are so many fascinating people that our students have access to on a regular basis. So when you see those emails, maybe just a little reminder to your student to try to visit that. But Parents Weekend is such a beautiful time at Elon. There are so many different options, and you get to meet the faculty. You get to see where the kids are eating. You get to try the delicious food, the football game, the tailgating, and you get to see their friends. So I would probably have to say, especially that first year, the friends that Molly made, which by the way, are now still her best friends and probably for life. So I'd have to say that was probably some of my favorite, was meeting all the people that she's been hanging out with.
And also, if you haven't met Dr. Book yet, she is so accessible and so engaging, and I highly recommend. I think she has a coffee or a brunch or something during that family weekend, and highly recommend touching base with her there. But she's always present, it seems like, as well too. And I think that shows the culture that has continued to be built at Elon. I think Sarah mentioned it, the welcoming nature of the faculty staff flows through to the students, and I think that it becomes part of that overall Elon culture. And Amy mentioned the speakers. I mean, we're huge fans of Arthur Brooks. Been following him for years. Can't wait to see him in person as well too. But family weekend it's fantastic, and it's just enough time, I think, from the time of drop off to when you potentially see your child for the first time live and in person again, that you're ready to be there and be back on campus.
And
Yes.
this is a reminder, bring your students with you to that speaker convocation, because sometimes parents aren't sure, but absolutely bring them and their other friends. There was one more that came up earlier, and I think we probably are going to talk about it, but just J-term. And there were a lot of questions about J-term. So after you talk about it, I'll make some comments about what it meant for us.
Sure. So J term is January. There is classes for the fall go through the first part of December. Students go home for winter break and then return for J term, which is a few weeks in January. And one thing that's great about Elon is with J term, students can take one course during that time. It's really concentrated and knock out credits during that time. So that way they stay on a 4-year track. Sarah, do you have some favorite J-term classes or that you've taken?
Yeah, I took like some pretty standard classes, I feel like, but they offer really, really fun ones too. I took my literature credit during my sophomore year J term, which is one of the Elon core curriculums that's required. I'm planning on taking my core capstone, which is typically done senior year, this upcoming J term. But I'm planning on utilizing all 4 years of my J term just because I am a double major and my schedule is pretty tight. But it's a great opportunity to allow myself to double major and still get all the credits I need to graduate and also lighten my load a little bit come senior year. But yeah, there's amazing, amazing classes. And I also know that it's a great opportunity for students to study abroad. I'm sure everyone's heard about Elon's amazing study abroad programs. I know a lot of really, really cool 3-4 week long J-term abroad programs. One of my mentors last year summited Mount Kilimanjaro, which is like a crazy, wild opportunity, and as well as some other really, really, really awesome hikes and things like that. And that's just the start of it. So yeah, J-term is definitely something I feel like it's in Elon's culture. A lot of people take advantage of. It's more uncommon for people to not be around on J-term than it is for students to be here, which I really love because it's also you're taking one class that time and it's typically a block section, so it's a little bit longer. It's like 3 hours depending, but it's a great time to like hang out with your friends too. It's a good moment to meet other people and do different things. So yeah, it's different than semesters, but it's a really nice different, if that makes sense.
It does. Amy, I'd love to hear your thoughts on J-term.
It's just, it was something so novel to us, frankly. And the fact that they could be on campus for this amount of time and take a very unique, different class that maybe wasn't even in their at all curriculum or a part of what they needed. And just the time on campus when it's a little quieter, I would just say, make sure that you ask lots of questions about J-term. And I think there are some other options. We didn't explore this, but sometimes I've known families who maybe their child did go home and take an internship program during J-term, or even stayed at Elon and did an internship. So it's really endless. The opportunities are really endless. So you can be creative. And I just think it's really another benefit of what makes it so unique. at the campus. And certainly, we are ranked in so many high national rankings for that experiential learning. And I would just say this is a part of it, that the study abroad are just other additions that make us a really unique place for your kid to grow up.
Yes,
Emily, can I interrupt you?
most
I have
certainly,
a-
most certainly.
All right, I have a question for Sarah. Sarah, this is something that's come up in the chat, and I feel like you'd be the best one to
Sounds
answer.
good.
Like meal plans and food and things like that. So, what is the difference between food dollars and Phoenix Cash and meal plans plus X number? Like, what does that all mean?
Yeah, for sure. This was really confusing to me my first year, and so I'm happy to answer it. All first year students will have unlimited meal plan, at least, which is essentially unlimited swipes into any dining hall, any of the three, McEwen, Lakeside, and Clohan. And then if you're doing a unlimited +7, you get 7 extra swipes a week for retail locations. So we have Biscuitville, we have Einstein Bagels, we have Qdoba, just to name a few. And those reset every week. And then 14 plus unlimited is the exact same thing, but you have 14 that week. And then the 7 plus and 14 plus all come with meal dollars. I don't know off the top of my head how many, but meal dollars are essentially it's money loaded onto your student's Phoenix card automatically depending on the meal plan you have, but you can also load it yourself. That can be used to purchase things at retail locations as well. Or at things like our Winter Garden Market or our Fountain Market, which is in Clohan and the other one's in Lakeside. And then food dollars is really, really awesome, and I feel like not enough people know about it. But it's money that can be loaded onto your Phoenix card that you can use similarly to meal dollars, but it gives a discount on things. So for me, last year, I was living in an on-campus apartment and didn't require a meal plan. So I had food dollars loaded onto my Phoenix card, and it gave me a discount for things like Biscuitville or things like Flat Out and Freshie, which are all in the Winter Garden, which is located by Lakeside, which I found very, very helpful. And then Phoenix Cash kind of is the similar thing. You can use Phoenix Cash the same way as food dollars and meal dollars, as well as other places. As I believe Emily had mentioned earlier, some different locations at downtown Elon take it. I know there's the Lowe's grocery store, which is right around in Burlington. They also take it. Different other places do too. But yeah, so your students' meal plan, depending, will have meal dollars. But if you're gonna load for retail locations money, I would say try food dollars because they do get that discount. And then Phoenix Cash, the same. It works for the exact same, as well as other places too. I
And
hope
you had
that
mentioned,
is clear.
thanks so much, Sarah. You had mentioned that this has gone over during orientation as well.
Yes.
So that way the students understand kind of what their meal plans will do, right?
Yeah, and then so it's talked about during orientation, and if there's any other following questions, that's where the Elon 1010 professors are available, as well as peer educators, which are students that are working as well with the Elon 1010 class. So, and really anyone's able to help. I will say the Phoenix Card office handles a lot of that, so they're a resource as well, if you can't connect with other people. But yeah.
And they are open also during a move-in weekend for questions or anything like that. Phoenix Card Services is in the Oaks, which is also where campus safety can be found as well. And that's where you can get your parking permit and whatnot. So we are almost out of time. In a moment, I'm going to share our emails for Office of Parent Engagement, new student programs, and residence life. But Sean and Amy, with your Elon experience, what parting words would you share to incoming families as they begin their Elon journey?
I have to jump in and say, congratulations. You've made a great decision. Take some deep breaths, give some big hugs, and live every moment. And just really know everybody is surrounding you and helping you. You have such a network of people at Elon to support any questions. Sean and I are added to that. You are welcome to reach out to us at any point. Emily and Will can share our contact information too. And just have a wonderful time and enjoy it.
The only thing I'd add to that is the message that one of the messages that we gave to both of our daughters as they went to college is use these 4 years, as Sarah and others have said, to try new things. You get to risk these next 4 years with a nice safety net of Elon below you to be able to try these new things before you go out into the real world, and just take advantage of these 4 years. I mean, we've spent an hour talking about some of the programs, but we could spend hours and hours on all of the different opportunities. So I guess another piece of advice is just really impress upon your child that this is these 4 years, they go by fast. I can't believe that we're here 4 years later having this conversation, but just make sure that they really know that you have their back. Elon definitely has their back, and it's just a really great journey.
Super. So if you need to email us, you can email Office of Parent Engagement at parentengagement@elon.edu. One moment, I'll share that's my screen real quick. So New Student Programs is nsp@elon.edu. Residence Life, if you have specific residence hall questions that we didn't answer or anything, feel free to reach out to them. They're a great resource as well for Residence Life at elon.edu. Thank you so much for spending an hour of your Thursday with us. We greatly appreciate it. Will and I will be on campus on Friday and Saturday. So if you see us, please say hi. Sarah will be with orientation leaders as well. So if you see her, say hi as well. But thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful weekend.